Good afternoon, traders, and welcome to this week's Forex Focus. I hope you've all had a good week in the markets, or at least you haven't fared too badly in the circus that is Donald Trump at the moment. Not that I have any views on him in particular, apart from the fact that he's making some really obvious trades right now. A little bit of hard work. So from that perspective, in this week's show, we're not really going to look at any dollar pairs because the dollar pairs at the moment, they aren't really moving on the real fundamentals. They're sort of being moved on the political agendas and what's coming out of the US and what Donald Trump may say from one day to the next. So from that perspective, as I just said, it's making some really straightforward trades, a little bit more hard work than it really needs to be. Having said that, we have a fantastic opportunity on our hands for this week. We've got one in the Aussie franc, which we're going to talk to in just a few minutes. But the reason that I like this trade is it's a trade that we're going to be taking from big levels. Now, for any of you that have been watching these shows for a while now, you'll know that they are typically the trades that really tend to work out and you kind of really have an opportunity to take a position with some considerable size. And that's what I think we have on our hands for this week. Obviously, we need to wait for the technical setups, but let's go and take a look at the charts and take a look to see what it is that we could be trading for this week. So let's start off by taking a look at the bigger picture and zooming into the daily chart. Now the daily chart here, as you can see, and actually let me zoom out a little bit further. The daily chart literally for about the past 2 years, well, going back, so March of 2015, since we had that whole sort of scenario with the Swiss National Bank removing the floor from the euro franc, and you can see that we had this massive down movement here where a lot of people lost a lot of money. But since that time, the market has held underneath this level here at around I've marked in the 0 spot 7634 because that's the most recent high. But sort of the other level, which is the high that's been held by everything else, is this one up here at 0 spot 7666. So not a lot of difference. You've got about a 30 pip difference there. But what we're looking at this week is we're looking at another reaction to this trade. So as you can see, for 2 years, it's been tracking beneath this level. It's had opportunities to rally and it's had opportunities to sell off. But it's literally been playing within this sort of range here for the last 2 years. And we don't believe that's going to change anytime soon. Now, that's not obviously to say that the market couldn't break out above here and it couldn't go off on a monstrous rally and go all the way up here to the previous levels prior to 2015. But we don't think it's going to happen that quickly. And of course, we don't get involved in any of the trades without seeing some sort of a technical confirmation, whether that be to the long side or to the short side. As traders, we have to remember that we have a bias, we have a sort of a way that we want to trade according to our particular setup, whether that be fundamental or technical. But if other information comes into the frame, then you obviously have to take note of that other information. Now, at the moment, the trade that we're looking at in this video right here is an opportunity to go short. But if the market breaks up above this level here and holds above this level, then we would have to sort of abandon our idea to go short and start looking to the long side. Okay, so it's really important to grasp that as a trader, that even though we've got a particular trade idea, you have to wait for the technical setup. And the reason that I'm stressing this so much this week is I had a conversation with a trader in the middle of last week, right? And we were talking about some opportunities and he'd been struggling for a little bit. And one of the things that he said was really quite concerning. He said that he watches my videos and stuff and, he kind of sees me as being a guru. So he takes all of the trades that I talk about without waiting for any sort of a technical setup. And he completely disregards the fact that, as I say on every single show, this is for educational purposes only. We're showing you what we're going to do in our own accounts, but we're not telling anybody to go and take these trades. You still have to do your own due diligence. You still have to look at the trade setups and make sure that, they make sense to you. And most importantly, you have to wait for the trade setups to play out. You can't just get involved because, so for example, I'm saying that I'm looking to go short here. It doesn't mean that I am short. It means I'm going to take a short if the opportunity presents itself, right? So anyway, let's jump into the shorter term timeframes and look at the sort of opportunity that I'll be looking to take. We just looked at that on the daily chart. For me, I think that this is probably going to play out on the 1 hour chart. So what I want to see is something called a 1, 2, 3 reversal. So we want to see the markets come in and print a high, which could be this high here, or if it breaks further above here, it could react to this level here. In reality, I'm kind of looking at this whole region here. So if the market reacts in this region here, I'm going to be happy to take a short opportunity. So at the moment, we've got a potential 0.1. What we then need to see is the market come down and give us a 0.2. So it'll make a high, it will then make a low, somewhere around here, okay? And then we want to see the market rally off, but this is important. We want it to fail to get above the previous high there. Now, why do we want to do that? Well, the technical definition of an uptrend is a series of higher highs and higher lows. The technical definition of a downtrend is lower highs and lower lows. And we like to trade in the direction of the trend, right? And we obviously like to get involved in the trend as early as possible because that's where you're going to make the most amount of profit. So what we would be essentially be doing here is if the market gave us a reaction, we have 0.1, we have 0.2, which would be a low down here. So we've got a high, we would have a low, we would have a high which is lower than the previous high. And then we would wait for the market to break beneath 0.2, which would be somewhere around here. And what would happen once the market breaks that level? Well, we would have a high, a low, a high which is lower than the previous high. Then once it broke that level, we would then have a lower low, right? Like technically we would have a lower low. So we would be looking at a potential trend reversal. Now, why do we like this opportunity? Well, one, we have a potential trade reversal, but number two, we're taking it from a big level. This is a level that's held in place for 2 years. It doesn't mean that it will hold in place forever, but if you get a technical opportunity at the level, if the technicals align with your longer term view, then they're the trades that you have to take. And even if this trade were to stop me out, it's a trade that I would take again and again and again, because more often than not, they pay you, okay? And more often than not, they pay you more than what you're risking anyway. So if we took this trade here, let's just go back out to the daily chart for the moment. If we took this trade here, we would have our stops in above here, above this sort of level here. You could put it above this high, but I want a little bit of extra protection, so I'd be somewhere out above here. Now, even if you were to do that, all right, and you were to get in, let's say, somewhere around 7595, for example, and you have your stop, and you, let's say you put it all the way up here at 7695 or 770, about 100 pip stop. Well, our first profit target would be this one down here at 7497. So we automatically have a 1-to-1 risk reward. But if we have momentum, if the market reacts to this level, it's completely conceivable that we could see the markets come down and attack these lows again, which will be down at sort of like the 0.7269 level, which means we would then have a very, very positive risk reward trade on our hands. Okay. So that wraps it up for this week's Forex Focus. I hope you all enjoyed that. I hope you all found a lot of value as always. And remember, as I said to you just a few minutes ago when we were looking at the charts, it's really, really important that you understand this for educational purposes only. We're not authorized or regulated to give you trading advice. We're not saying go and take this trade right here. We're literally just showing you what we're looking to take in our own accounts. Okay, if that setup presents itself, I'm going to take that trade. You still need to go away and do your own due diligence, all right? And as I said, there was someone that I spoke to this week. They said I could sort of look at you as being a trading guru, which is very flattering, and thank you very much for that. But it doesn't mean I have a crystal ball, okay? It doesn't mean I'm going to be right on every single trade. And you still have to wait for the technical setups. You can't just take a trade because you think what I'm saying is going to be correct. I don't even take a trade because I think what I'm saying is going to be correct. I have a view, I have a theory, and then if that plays out, then I'll take the trade, and hopefully that will then bring me some profit. But if it doesn't matter, because there are many, many, many trades out there to take. Okay, so this is not just the only one. And you don't ever take a trade as if it's just your only one. You take it as if it's one of, hundreds and thousands. And if you do that, then you never get yourself in a situation where you're going to let any one trade, wind you up or annoy you. Okay, so that wraps it up for this week. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to post it beneath the video. Please share this, like the video as well. As I said, we're trying to really build this channel here, so any help there would be appreciated. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in next week's Forex Focus. Take care now.